of the amazing world of Gumball inside Minecraft.
But you only have 24 hours to recreate it, because the trailer came out yesterday, and I want to see what your record is for creating a trailer. If you manage to do everything in one day, it will be insane. And as a reward, I'll give you whatever you want.
Okay, but why only 24 hours? Whatever I want. It's time. The new Gumball trailer isn't very long. We need a setting where his house is, and the interior part with the bedroom. And the characters are just Gumball and Darwin. Normally, I usually recreate my own maps, but since I only have 24 hours, I'll see if I can find a map on the internet, and then I spent some time looking for ready-made Gumball maps. Since this cartoon is very famous, there would definitely be something ready, and I found this map here, and its creator is Dave McLean. Since this map was created many years ago, it doesn't have many details, so I spent a good amount of time fixing parts of the map, tweaking with more modern decoration, since nowadays we have a lot of decoration mods in Minecraft. I managed to improve the map to make it a little more realistic, and after about 2 hours, I finished. Look at this. The setting looks more lively. I fixed the pillars, windows, doors, and used mods. But this is just the first part of the scenario. We'll need to come roughly here and click over on the other side. Look, it's even hard to see. I selected a cube, and I'll keep pushing this forward. Look there. The houses are duplicating. Because I need 2 of these scenarios. Whoever watched the trailer knows appears in an abandoned version, and that's what I'll do here now. It won't be much work because most of it will be in editing. I just need to select the blocks of the house colors and select 3 different shades of gray blocks. This one works, I just need 1 more gray colored block. And I'll do the following. There's the greenhouse, blue one, and purple one. Each of them will turn into a different color. Look at this. Just do this here and look. Now I'll put spider webs here to give it an even more abandoned look, and then the overall setting will look perfect. I just need to place some spider webs around here like this. Here's one too, and done. Now we have the abandoned house version and the pretty house version. I even added this fake grass here, and this tree that I had forgotten. There was a Minecraft tree here, but in the cartoon itself, it's a paper one, like this. And now we can start recording the characters, Gumball and Darwin waking up in their room, realizing that it's been 7 years. Since I don't have much time, I even thought about looking for a 3D model of Gumball and Darwin online for Minecraft, but I couldn't find one, so I'll have to create them myself. Well, and you already know how I create these characters. I just go to the Blockbench app and make a 3D model, the most similar to them, but in Minecraft version. Well, I think my Gumball and Darwin turned out cool. If you want a video recreating all the characters from the amazing world of Gumball in Minecraft, comment down below and I'll make a special video for you creating that. And now that I have the characters ready, we just go here to Gumball's room so we can start recreating the scenes. Yeah, so his room doesn't look very good. So I also recreated this room with mods to make it a little more updated and more realistic looking like the cartoon. I also split this setting into 2 parts. Here we have the abandoned version, look. And here on the side, the normal version, already pretty, which is where they will wake up. To remove all this here. To start the recording, I'll come here and create a scene, which will be the first. Then I just create a camera here, position it where I want. I'll leave it roughly in this position. Click here and add my first character, which is Gumball. I'll create an animation of him lying, sleeping on the bed. Then I just come here, stop here in the middle. The bed is kind of fake, so I'll press to record and it'll start recording up there. Look, I need to stay about 10 seconds here recording with him. As you already know, those lines there are the camera area. After everything is ready, I stop recording and just use these keyframe points here to create an animation for him. The first animation he'll have is lying on the bed. I'll create here, in the pose keyframe, a pose for him as if he were sleeping. Rest the head on the pillow like this, okay? One thing I'll do is separate his texture. I put Gumball in gray like this because if I come here to the texture keyframe, there's a one for him scared, tired, sleeping, sneezing, but we'll start with this one, full of dust. Later he'll wake up, then he'll sit up, and we can already come here and change the texture back to him again, putting his awake texture, but he's still full of dust. All this dust will only disappear when he sneezes, which is a bit later, and then I'll make some animations, for example, him removing the dust from his tongue. And after that, we'll start Darwin's animations. Here, the Gumball part already has all keyframes ready. He'll wake up, remove dust from his tongue, and look to the left. Here on the left, I'll place an aquarium. I didn't show you, but I also created a model together with Darwin of his aquarium, which is where he lives, right? Then just place it here, nicely positioned. I'll increase the size a little like this. And we can come here in the same previous scene and just click here below to add a new replay, which now will be Darwin's replay. I need to leave him hidden here inside. He can't appear. He'll only appear when Gumball turns to the side, which is at second 11, roughly. So I'll come here, stop here in front, and press to start a recording with Darwin. He'll be hidden inside the aquarium. And when Gumball looks to the side, I'll do this. Look, hold on. 3, 2, 1, and turn to the side. I show up. Like Gumball, here in the texture tab, I also created a bunch of textures for him. Look, with mouth closed, with eyes open, with eyes closed. His scene will start like this, startled. Then he'll be saying, dang, we missed the time to go to school because their alarm will have been ringing for like 7 years. Oh, speaking of alarm, I also created the clock. Look, just place the clock here nicely. The clock showing 9 o'clock, which he'll pick up later and see that they are late for school. One detail here in this initial scene, algae, but I'll add that later, hold on. Then I just need to animate Darwin seeing the time and realizing he's late. Look, the first animation turned out really good. I had him getting up here, right? Then removing dust from his tongue. Now I'll just come here so we can do something. I need to create parts of a model to add these algae leaves in the aquarium. I'll just spread the algae throughout the aquarium. And now here in the scene, he'll move his head from one side to the other. I just place him moving like this. Look, here. Then here moves to the side. Create several keyframes from right to left. While he's doing this rotation movement, we change the texture and put his eyes closed. He looks like this, look, and removes the algae. And then the algae disappear. The only algae that disappear are from his head, but in the aquarium, they remain. And then right after he wakes up here, removes the algae, and it's just right, turns off the alarm and says, dang, we're late for school. I divided it into 3 parts, right? The house parts and the dirty room are ready. Now only the clean room scenes are left. And so far, 8 hours have passed. That means I still have plenty of time to complete the challenge. And now the scene will be here in the already clean setting. In this case, this is the final part. So I'll create scene 2 and make the same camera, which is roughly here, look. Then I can add Gumball and he will finally have his normal texture, which is him blue, not full of dust. I'll position him here, I'll start recording. Here he's still gray, but don't worry. In the recording he won't be gray. I'll wait with him just standing. Since there's not much movement, just do a still recording, right? That's the cool thing about shorter scenes. Alright, stop recording. I'll already take advantage and do the recording with Darwin here, look, in his new aquarium. Now the aquarium is clean too. No more algae or anything. I can just stop here with him and record too. Now that I recorded with both, I'll just position him here. At this moment, the scene that happens is right after he sneezes. So he'll be scratching his nose. I'll place his hand here, look, scratching his nose, move here, move there. All right. And in this part, there's this clock, which is very important. Yes, again, because Darwin, who is standing here in his aquarium, will look down and grab the clock with his hand. I'll stretch his hand here to the clock and he'll say something like, dang, we're late for school. Gumball will ask how long they've been late and Darwin will say, 7 years. That's why the house was full of dust, because they slept for 7 years straight. Yeah, right? To make him grab the clock right when he stretches his hand. 1 keyframe forward. I come here and delete the clock. Look, I set it to 0, 0, and 0. The clock disappears. And I just come here to Darwin, add a part for him. With the clock in his left hand, look, pull here, rotate, and then the clock will be in his hand, look. Being held, shrink a little, like this, perfect, and then perfect. We just need to create an animation of him pulling the clock up. Move here, the other hand closer to his eye, and the clock literally stuck to his eye for him to really check the time, to be sure he's checking the right time. And a bit later, he'll drop the clock and let it fall to the ground, and his expression has to change. At this part, he'll be like this, and when he sees the time, he'll be like this. That is, when the clock falls, he has that face. Look, after he grabs the clock and it falls, there's still the animation of them going back to sleep. But first, I'll show you that I also recreated the living room setting, because at the beginning, when the abandoned house is shown, it also shows the house's interior. And I recreated this living room so we could create a camera scene in it. I did it really fast because I had forgotten this part, but it's very simple. The only thing needed here is a camera, nothing much. So we just come here, look, and position the camera still here. This dust particle I added looked really cool. If I put a shader, we can position here, look, the camera nicely and just record zooming there. Look, on the couch. Okay, let's go. Only this last here, look, right after this, I'll change Gumball's texture to this scared face and he'll start raising his arms slowly upwards as if they were going to scream like, what do you mean we've been late for 7 years? It doesn't even make sense. Pull the keyframes forward. Then he's here, look, stretching his arms, stretching, and 1 keyframe very fast after, he goes back to normal, and he gets sleepy again. Why? He slept 7 years, but he wants to take another nap of 5 more minutes, right guys? Then put this animation and a bit later, he goes back to sleep, like this, look, and here we change the texture to him with eyes closed again. And look at this, stretched his arms and going back to sleep just 5 more minutes. Bye. Wait, this needs to be a bit faster, like this, look. Can be faster. There, done. Now we just make Darwin stretch too. We leave him like this, startled. He'll stretch like this upwards. A bit later, stretch the arms. Both of them, and right after, return arms to normal like before, and the texture changes to tired again. Oh, I'm tired. So I'll take another 5-minute nap, and he, unlike Gumball, sleeps inside the aquarium. So I'll just stretch him down here, look, and leave him cute, sleeping there, all curled up in his aquarium. And the final animation is ready. Look at the clock, let it fall to the ground, and they start stretching, but in the end, they go back to sleep. So alright, stay with the final result of the trailer.
O que tá acontecendo? Darwin!
Ah, não! Nos atrasamos pra escola!
Jay! Quanto tempo?
Uns 7 anos!
5 minutinhos, vai!
And that's it. What did you think? I managed to finish everything in 18 hours.
Dude, it turned out perfect, okay? As promised, I'll do whatever you want. You're really good, man.
Okay, and what I want is for you to ask whoever's watching to leave a like, because it took a lot of work.
So guys, if you liked it, subscribe to Jakinho's channel and leave your like.